Hello and welcome or welcome back. This is going to be a part 2, a Daily Dharma extended from the October 1st date. So to an extent we're talking in real time, that this is going to be a series of further activations, initiations into our various psychic and spiritual gifts, as well as whatever our personal embodiment alchemy happens to be. And the way this has been depicted is that we're also being able to integrate our own light codes and then emit those frequencies out as a brilliant projector of energy through being able to plant the seeds and then to create dynamic inspiration among those that we meet and them within us. There's this cooperative synergy of the way that we are able to plug into one another empathically and activate each other. And we need to be aware that we don't underestimate the power, the capacity, and the realness of the individuals that we might, on the ego level, demonize or say that there's something wrong with them, or they are just dumb, or don't know, or they're incapable, or whatever. We can minimize people in very subtle ways. Some of us feel like we're intellectual authorities. Others may feel that we're more emotionally aware. Other people more spiritually in tuned and aware and enlightened. There's all these various forms of ego that become slippery, and it's always important to be humble, but also to remain clear and empowered. And true empowerment clearly happens with the greatest of compassion and ability to recognize ourselves and others. And that's kind of not exactly what I said in the first one, but it's also the essence of it. It's like clarifying our ability to feel true and spontaneous gratitude for the most basic functions and things that we would feel entitled for, hitting us differently in the spirit, being able to truly activate the feeling of ecstatic delight in the interconnectivity with breath and body, and something like ecstatic dance, for instance, creating this moment of integrated awareness, higher awareness between your own divine feminine and masculine, to be able to soften, to be more gentle, more delicate with your process and with others as you alchemize this process, come fully online with your sovereign self. And in this way, we are able to connect to other individuals with varying beliefs and things from a why do the silliest things happen to me on camera? Other people would edit this stuff out. Such a distraction. That's what you get when you're outdoors. So, yeah, this is an activation of the mind, body, spirit, and there's been a lot of psychic gifts coming online. It will continue to happen, and it's happening through the people that we come in contact with this month. And before I speculate any further on these individuals that have come up, we've got the masculine and feminine aspects of earth and sky here, Mother Earth, Father Sky, that will be clarifying, as well as the one that I showed you from the center, this way that we plug into each other and to the higher self, for instance. And then we have this last one is this activation portal, this priestess energy, having a very ancient old soul feel to it, and with the Hierophant at the end. It's an initiation through clarity, detox, and inner alchemical sovereign expression. It's a mouthful, but it's definitely an activation of something coming forward. And with The other cards here, it's changing our view of what a strong leader looks like and how we want to see and be seen as strong leaders. We have shifting here coming out under this feminine. I do believe that we're going to see a lot of women become elected in the United States politics. I don't mean to keep putting things to politics, but you're going to have to deal with me for a few, or just don't watch until another 2 months. Power, yes, a power shift from not away from the masculine, but honoring the divine masculine and the divine feminine, and shifting the power back into the sovereign self, so that everyone is the master of their mind and their body. Because that because for those that are even religious in the Christian religion, there's that big phrase of, don't you know that you are also gods, as the translation would go. And others will have their own ideas about that, but it's like being able to be fully in our own energy, aligned and awakened, is where that delight is connecting us to our own power grid, our own inner tapestry, unlocking the tantric moment. The moment is the torque that's necessary to spin us into momentum here, with that propeller that I always see in this authority card, to change the momentum in our lives so that we are actually an energetic energy capacitor, like a little battery here on Earth, working at incubating the seeds into true life and broadcasting that vision out into the world in the multiple mediums that we have access to, especially our ability to be a medium and to connect with our psychic capacities. Oh my gosh, underneath the deck we have voice. Absolutely, voice is the number one thing coming out here. Empowering our voice with whatever we believe is not going to happen through fighting and creating issues with other individuals, or trying to push people around until they do what we think everybody should do. It's not for us to speak to another's life. I mean, within reason. Let's not put words in my mouth, of course, for those that would. I think that we've been pretty lucky so far. We haven't had any poor comments. People are just finding their resonance, and I appreciate that. And I appreciate the various ideas that you guys hold as well. So just to put that out there. So the power shift here, I do believe, has something to do with a resurgence of the feminine aspect within all of us, our ability to receive and to be greater space holders for compassion and intuitive guidance, and the sovereign body. The vestal virgin keeps stepping forward, not having never had an intimate partner, but about being clear, cleansed and clear channels, conduits of spirit to manifest on earth. Gifted. You are in some way gifted the voice and the ability to utilize your medium or mediumship, or the resources at your disposal, your tools, your money, whatever it might be, whatever you're gifted with and have an abundance of, even if it's just hot air, to spin that in a powerful way, to help others to check in with their own belief systems, and not to shift their belief systems, but to shift them into a way where they can feel empowered, versus needing validation and needing power in the world, feeling empowered in the moment, I believe here. So we also have a gift for shifting the consciousness and being consciousness evolutionaries here. I think too, what another thing I was getting with that, engaging in conflict only when it's absolutely necessary. There's something here about delicacy, which came through with the stone of pink Botswana agate, but there's also the phrase, it's a popular one that I've said before: better to be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. And I find that that's part of the reason why I even named this channel Empressivewarrior. It's an empress like warrior who doesn't need to fight to know she's in charge of herself, but she will not remain complicit while injustice is happening right in front of her eyes, perhaps even with her resources, or being done to her. She understands that it's for her as a sovereign individual to also provide and protect and take care of herself, whether you are the masculine or not. That is your feminine, nourishing, nurturing, caretaking, self loving inner divine mother and the cosmic womb of Mother Earth. So it's important for us to respect the mothers and sisters and neighbors that we have as well. And so women are coming into their power, and it's not intended to disempower the masculine. Some individuals will lose the plot and shift their voice a little too far, as always happens, but we don't need to fight in these situations. We don't need to label and demonize. If we can only build bridges, then we can teach each other and learn from each other that it's safe to be in each other's presence again, instead of like having to look at our neighbors in some type of witch hunt. We've also got commitment coming under this, being plugged in here. I think too, we've got a lot of family and loved ones that have varying viewpoints. And as we commit more fully to ourselves and to our journey as it is, it's our spiritual journey to assist other individuals with their journey here. And to commit to that, we need to be willing to shift our vibration and shift our power. Maybe we feel disempowered. We need to resolve all of that within ourselves before going out and fighting for everything. We can do much more by fostering a garden than we can do by a war. Because think about it, war destroys everything and then everybody's starving. But if you create a garden, then everybody's fed and there's nothing to fight about. You know, we need to place our vision where our mouths are sometimes. And I think that so many of us are inspired to do that. And we're doubling down on our commitment to create a world that we've envisioned. So what else? Leveling up with this conception. This is a highly fertile time with the cards that are being laid out here and shown. We're being, let me look at this. This plugging into other individuals, plugging into our higher selves, activating our own selves, as well as working with the forces and the practices and behaviors and healthy routines that will help activate as well. We are, we're incubating, we're impregnating the earth with the concepts. It's like me in the first part of this message, I was speaking to the trees and asking them to grant their blessing for my views and vision for this land and my ideas, and thanking them for their work here. And I started to get the message that I don't need to repeat fully, but basically it's about how we utilize ourselves as energetic processors, energetic generators or capacitors to synthesize light from the sun, light codes, soul blueprint, cosmic identity, to be able to conceive of that within the self, process, synthesize, photosynthesize, and create the vision to synthesize photons into light codes and broadcast that out, becomes the conception that becomes the dynamic. And so it's like the conception and the up card here in tandem. I'll just show you real quick. It's like the egg and the seed, the actual conception time here. It's like this is the quickening of the seed as life is realized. And I think that we're realizing that we are about to change our lives and the lives of all, in at least involved in some type of a situation that you've come to this reading to look at. But for me, it's more of a cosmic level, and it's a portal that we are activating and assisting others through, a way to build the life that we can all thrive and that we can all connect and belong and be useful and healthy and happy and thrive. So yeah, and final cards, mediumship. Now, I already talked about mediumship. We are being utilized, as I've said in the past, like a 3D printer. It's like we are the energy capacitor that some resources are being funneled through, the things that people will possibly give you, like, you know, being that I'm out here doing what I'm doing, people might say, oh, I've got these spare 2x4s, 4x4s, and sheet metal. I know I can get a little something from them for them at the steel yard and selling them, but I know that you're doing this vision. Take these, and those are donations, right? And it can happen with people that have an abundance of squash. You know, yeah, we can't eat 10 things of squash, but if they've got 100 and they want to give us 10, you can freeze it, you can process it early, and you can turn it into things. You know, it's like that's the beauty of the divine feminine, is the hunters and gatherers bring back their wares, and or maybe whatever, feminine, masculine, right? Those individuals bring it back, and the feminine aspect within us says, oh, well, I can do this, this, and this with it. Waste nothing. It's like the old school hunters that honored the land. They harvest an animal, they don't just kill them. And if they have to harvest an animal from the land because it's being a nuisance and they can't utilize it as food, perhaps they can utilize it for other things, you know, like um, there are various things with various animals. I'm not going to get into that. But it's about honoring the existence of so many various things that seeing the value in what someone might discard in a less conscious moment, but we're being able to witness the magic of the little things. All right, one last card. We're able to recognize the beauty and the miracle in the everyday. And that's what I think is at the basis of this particular October insight and activation portal, is that the mundane is actually evidence of the magic. And the more that we can witness those little things and help others to witness those things, then we can start to build upon whatever aspects of this experience that we can all connect on, the interconnection, the belongingness. What can we agree on instead of what can we fight over any further? So let's just get a few from the mixed shamanic deck. Then we may get another oracle if we have time. Hope you guys are doing well. So I'd like to hear a little bit more about the individuals stepping in over the course of the month. Some of you will have multiple of these individuals. Others may identify more with one than another, or maybe one prominent individual coming into your experience over the next period that after you've watched this will exhibit multiple of these personality archetypal energies we'll discuss. And finally, for others of you, this may be aspects of yourself that you're witnessing as you reflect upon the personalities and situations and experiences that you're integrating at this time. Whatever it is that you're synthesizing, because everybody will have these things going on in different ways. Wherever your attention is flowing, there's some type of activation happening. Let's hear about the people and how this is hitting the viewers. All right. So we've got the first card out. Two of them, it looks like lightning, number 30. I thought we had the 30 out already, but I don't see it now. So this is the activation. I see the sword at the center of the core here. Yes, this activating lightning impact. It's like a shocking epiphany or an inspiring activation happening. And then we have the 20 card coming out with that, the Feast of Plenty, choices and their consequences with number 20. 20 is the card generally of judgment, and there's this bee telling me about the hive mind. And those two of swords talking about the intuitive choice making and how we choose one thing over another, or how we actually utilize signposts and synchronicities in order to guide us, whether we're able to trust our intuition or whether we're misguided by false narrative. There's here talking about the breaking away process of letting spirit speak to the core of us through resonance, and then understanding how we can somewhat remain so much more in our power as we remain in our peace, in our bubble, in our own lane, until such time as the force of the divine moves us to take some type of higher action rather than being reactionary. All right, a few more. I want to take the one off the bottom for some reason. That is the galactic mushroom, the divine matrix. I believe we were talking about that a little bit earlier, where perceiving the the light bending through almost the fabric of reality, the tapestry of light that's around us, and how I was sort of seeing almost between the shifting of light as it was bending and reflecting through the atmosphere here. It's kind of like that Alice in Wonderland trippy idea um, of feeling like there's something going on. Like a lot of people having seen that would be too fearful to explore it. They'd be like, oh, well, I was just seeing things. I might need to talk to my doctor about that. And, if you need to, you need to, whatever. But I'm not saying not to. But for some of us, this isn't like it's more magic and more of us seeing through what we can't even perceive or expect, let alone perceive it beyond where we can expect and already have a concept of. There's a new concept and dynamic understanding of something that we've been entitled to in the past, and this gratitude about this breakthrough moment where we're able to intuitively have hits, and more so than before. Many of us are already intuitive. So underneath is the moon, very interesting. And here we have many masks, the authentic self, number 38. Yeah, so it's like this almost like the peaceful Buddha, not the laughing Buddha depiction. I keep wanting to say Shiva, and I understand that's not right, but it's coming through for a reason. So that may have meaning for somebody here. But it's talking about getting straight within the self, the ability to shift and change ourselves, to step away from groupthink, hive mind mentality, and to stand alone, to speak apart from your cohorts, and to advocate for something perhaps unexpected, because your voice is absolutely being called into question here. You're needing to send a message or to receive a message or to translate messages as a medium for spirit into form, or all of the above. So we're not getting a lot of people cards as far as like the people I thought we were going to get out of this deck. We do have the Holy Mountain, meditating upon the mountain here. So I guess if I were looking for individuals here, I would say that the Lightning card is somebody who might either be triggering or inspiring or captivating, somebody who is empowered, electrifying, and who is spontaneously and possibly even erratic or irritable. It can be somebody who's got frayed edges and nervous, but it can also be an incredibly adept light worker, energy worker who's bending the energies around them, shifting the energy of the astral around them with the forces of love and light, not to sound too cheesy, but that individual is activating something empowering here. And they are probably also somebody who could activate ley lines and things like that. So the Feast of Plenty is maybe a seer energy, somebody who can foresee things, forecast things, who recognizes trends and utilizes their own energy to make choices. This can be a more earthy individual because I'm seeing this feather. Could also be somebody who enjoys wine or um, the sensual pleasures. I'm hearing Dionysus, somebody who's into gems, scrying, even martial arts with the swords particularly, or even the bow staffs or whatever it might be called in various disciplines. This third individual, the galactic mushroom here, looks like somebody who loves to explore rabbit holes, but can sometimes need a little bit more cleansing and clearing, because everything that we're taking in is more AI programming, where the algorithm sees our face coming a mile away and is like, oh yeah, I heard them say something about Betty Crocker, and now we're going to get ads for that. Um, so, yeah. So it can also be individuals who are shamanic, who dabble in various herbology, even to some might dabble in the various shamanic plant-based medicines and tour guides. And then with the many masks, this is probably somebody who keeps to themselves, who has a very kind and palatable and acceptable exterior, who polishes their appearance and likes to um, say the right things, do the right things, and help the right causes. This is probably an empath who dealt with a fair amount of um, misunderstanding, ridicule, and censorship. And so they've learned to adapt and shift around others. And this individual will be needing to possibly take up some more space and to open their eyes a little bit more to the impact and the influences of the masks that they have willingly um, shrouded their light with. And to what extent will they decide to continue that, and to what extent will they decide to um, move beyond that and expose various aspects of self and become more comfortable in their own skin. The Holy Mountain card is somebody who perhaps has taken a lot of time to themselves, perhaps secluded themselves. Seeing myself a little in this card up on my mountaintop, which this is not a mountain, but metaphorically speaking, it's like this is an elevated place for me. I very carefully choose all of the energies that are around me, and I do as I will here, so to speak. And so it's a very incubating type energy here, where I can do my own mediumship and do my filming and share my voice from a protected sanctuary. And this individual is probably somebody who creates space who holds space, whether that's astrally, does promotion of energy, empathic, emotional work with others, even faceless, nameless others. And also is somebody probably who sees themselves creating some type of either a spiritual retreat or communal engagement, somebody who wants to create space for others to feel connected because of their isolation. They're here to be a connector and a networker, and this may present challenge as well as fulfillment if developed. Lastly, the vision quest. Oh, look at that with the ecstatic dance. I don't know if some of you are doing some of that, or just doing some yoga or running, jogging, body movement, body positive nourishment and things, some type of possibly ritual with the moon cycles here, because we still have the moon cycles here on the bottom in this feminine goddess energy. Directly below that we have heart home compassion with deep diver diving into a task. So yes, might be that there's this developing vision where individuals will be coming together with the individual who holds the space, who is perhaps creating a home type environment to create immersive health, well-being, immersive connectivity. Yeah, there's a place being created for multiple visions to come together, for multiple individuals to be um, activating each other, interactivations happening throughout the month of October. So if you're invited into some groups, with your own resonance and determination and working with the energy of spirit to discern, I think is the word I was looking for, which types of leadership that you'd like to nest below, because there's all kinds of culty anomalies and dogma that we can walk into accidentally. And so don't get too committed too quickly. Commit to your higher sovereignty and take that wherever you go, and go somewhere where you will be respected and uplifted, and where your gifts are part of the niche, and lead into a common destiny that you are really aligned with, and where you can be vulnerable in yourself and celebrated, and where there's not bullying, infighting, or conflict being brought into the situation. There's a change in leadership here where you may be very important in gathering several individuals together to create this space, to create this vision, but it's going to unlock so many hearts and minds and bodies. And so the time is now for you to step more deeply into your empowered leadership and authority. So take good care of yourselves. And I'd love to hear if you want to comment and claim this message in the comments. What does this message mean for you? So take good care of yourself. Until next time.